Welcome back. I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're driving a 2018 Mercedes AMG G63. This is the 5.5-liter BiTurbo V8, makes 560 horsepower, about the same amount of torque, and these are just such a joy, and my goodness, do they hold value. If you bought one of these used under MSRP, you're going to get your money back and then some, probably. It's amazing when you can buy cars and basically drive them for free. It's rare in this world, but, you know, here we are. So this is a highly desirable thing, even though the new style of the G-Wagon has so much more refinement to its driving style. But I actually think that the sort of military tank vibe that this gives off from the outside and from the driver's seat is what makes it so special. Now, this is clearly an overpowered vehicle. We don't need 560 horsepower, but that's what I like about AMG, is they're not afraid to throw some muscle and power at vehicles that just don't even warrant it, but it's fun, so why not? The style is iconic, and I love that they put this like bash bar up front to protect it from whatever you're doing off-road, and hopefully you are off-roading it. This one's wrapped. I think underneath it's a silver car, but the wrap is definitely going to do you some favors if you do take it off-road and you don't want to get it all scratched up. Now, these aren't the original wheels and tires, and we're dealing with 22-inch wheels here with all-terrain tires, so this is going to be an interesting addition to discomfort in the driving experience on this one. But I'm looking forward to it. Of course, we've got to have those loud side pipes, which is probably the best part about it. So let's jump in, start it up, because you got to hear this thing. The last G-Wagon I drove was a 2017, basically the same thing, but a year older. And I gotta say, the steering in this car feels a bit lighter, so that maybe was either a difference in the two vehicles or a model year change. Sometimes manufacturers do make slight changes from year to year that aren't necessarily talked about. Let's see what she'll do from a dig. It's a bit of a monster. You can feel the chassis like flex when you do this. It's incredible. This is as raw a driving experience as you're gonna get in a modern type of car. I mean, it's like going back in time and just driving a legitimate muscle car. And cruising along, it just doesn't break a sweat. We're at like 1100 RPM. It is happy as a clam, just using all that low end torque, because it's not a high revving vehicle. But, ooh, comfort. Comfort is not a G-Wagon attribute. Sure, it's got heated seats, but it's a military vehicle that's gussied up with leather, carbon fiber, and some creature comforts, but you cannot hide what lies beneath. Down here on the transmission, we've got our Comfort Sport manual mode. We'll put it in Sport. A two-handed driving experience. Under throttle wants to rip that wheel out of your hand a little bit. But she's not a canyon carver, you know? It is always entertaining to put a truck into a corner, but that's not what it's designed to do. big tires definitely make it wander a little bit. You've got to pay a good bit of attention to that steering wheel. And then, of course, it's very loud. I think it's entertaining, though, because what you've done is you've taken a vehicle that's already not fabulous on road and made it even more off-roady, which is exactly what everyone does to their Jeep Wranglers. You've always got to take a car for what it is and what it's supposed to do, what it's intended to do. Because we could get in this, and as a daily driver, we can complain about a lot of things in this car. It is very stiff. It is very uncomfortable. It is terrible on fuel. There's a lot that isn't great. But the reality is, for what it is and what it's designed to do, this is so entertaining and so much fun. You know, you're never going to put this next to a new Range Rover and think that this is the clear choice for your daily drivability. But if you like character and you like the entertainment of driving something a little weird and a little inappropriate for most circumstances, this is exactly what you want. These have been holding value too, and I think that's because the homogenization of the automotive market is starting to ring true to everybody who likes interesting cars, and they're realizing that if they want unique or strange or just characterful driving experiences, they're going to have to look back in time. We are in a place where everything is starting to look the same and drive the same. That's really boring. So despite the numerous flaws that the G63 has as a usable daily driver, it is fun to drive. And fun to drive is the name of the game right now. If you want to have something that's going to hold value, look towards something that has an old school power plant and old school vibes when you're driving it. That's where you're going to start to find your value add on the secondhand market. What do we have here? Oh, look at this little Alpha. That's great. It's a cube, and that cube shape with all the glass gives you really good visibility. Terrible coefficient of drag. That's not what you're buying it for. Just one of those experiences where if you have to explain why it's fun or why you like it, then whoever you're explaining it to probably just won't get it. They'll never get it unless they drive it. Maybe they figure it out then, but it's a love-hate experience. I mean, you guys know that I love sports cars. I love to drive low, light, high-revving sports cars. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate other driving experiences. And for me, the G-Wagon, it's kind of like the childhood dream of driving a dump truck. And other than driving the Unimog, this is as close as I can get to doing it as like a daily driver thing. And it's fun. You can make a lot of noise. Tons of low end torque. It's hysterical how fast this thing goes. So that's a little therapy drive in the G-Wagon. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm going to go bring this back to Bond Group. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.